The idea of a sweatshop seems barbaric and distant from our culture. According to Columbia Electronic Encyclopedia, the sad truth is there are still over 3,000 maquiladoras, or tariff-free sweatshops, sponsored by American companies on the border of Mexico and the United States. Elizabeth Fussell, in Making Labor Flexible, the Recomposition of Tijuana's Maquiladora Female Labor Force, says, these maquiladoras employ mostly young women. According to their employers, women are easier to control, talk back less, and their smaller hands work better for the grueling tasks of sewing and other typical maquiladora work. In an article, Maquiladora Industry, an update from the border, author Angela Rodriguez explains the maquiladora work is dangerous, especially to women. Many of the factories use chemicals such as benzene, lead, and zinc. These chemicals can hurt a woman's reproduction. Worst of all, workers aren't even made aware of all the hazards in their workplaces. The hazards for these women don't end at work. They often have to work odd hours and travel long distances in the dark. With the immense amount of poverty, the crime rate in many of these cities is very high, and the women have a high risk of being attacked while walking home. According to the Cornell Daily Sun, the femicides are to be taken seriously. When you glance, because you can't stare, at the photographs of the bodies of these women online, bodies of women and girls as young as 10 years old, one tends to agree. Raped, tortured, their breasts cut off, stab marks everywhere, and that's not including the mounds of burned bones or the corpses that have not been found yet. These women are being killed going to and from their workplace. According to Angela Rodriguez, work for these women means 57 cents an hour, or $35 a week. They work long days with long journeys to and from work. When they finally get home, they find crudely built houses. Most of the homes don't have electricity or water. One city, Ciudad Juarez, population has gone from 3,165 to 130,000 in the past 30 years, and is expected to rise much more in the near future. These cities were designed to have water and electricity to their citizens, but the major influx, along with mass poverty, has crippled these systems. If women try to form unions or fight back, they are blacklisted and unable to work in any of the maquiladoras anymore. With such low wages, many of the families are unable to send their children to school. The average child drops out around middle school because that is the age when families are expected to pay for their books and other school necessities. These children end up on the streets, selling gum and other small tokens to people passing through. These factories are also harming the environment. There are very little regulations on these companies and what they can and cannot put into the environment. When there are regulations, the maquiladoras often ignore them and dump whatever waste they want to into the water systems. This, along with the poor water systems in place for the population, causes even more contact with the poisons that are produced by these factories. Another horrible side effect of the maquiladoras is the destruction of the family structure valued in Mexico for centuries. The family structure in Mexico is historically very traditional, with the man being the head of the household, working and taking care of his family financially, and the woman taking care of the children. When the maquiladoras employ mostly women, the roles get changed. The women become the family moneymakers. The roles of everyone in the family must change. Many men become depressed and even take out their anger on their wives in domestic violence. With so much destruction happening on the border of Mexico due to American factories, what can we do to right these injustices? As American citizens, we need to stand up for human rights and be advocates for the maquiladora workers. Let the textile and other goods factories know that we want them to treat the Mexican workers fairly. Hopefully, if enough people stand up for these social injustices, some change can happen.